Welcome back. This is Ivy from Gypsy Road. Today we are going to talk about History Years 1 and 2 from The Good and the Beautiful. Just a short overview of what you can find when you open up these books. Year 1 comes with your Student Explorers, your course book, and your book of stories. You also have the option of purchasing the game, The Keys to History. We have so many games that we have elected not to purchase the games that go with these history programs. But I've heard good things about them, and if you want to see that up close, Jane from Salty Tribe has several videos that include those games. But just a brief overview of history. One of the first things we do when we get this course book is to go online and download the MP3s that go along with it. I burn them to a disk, put them right here in a little pocket that my son made for me, and then we can take this with us wherever we go, whether we have internet or not. We also print out the Student Explorers and put them in a book. So let's talk about what's included with year 1. One of the things that I like about The Good and the Beautiful's history is that it includes all 4 of your eras that you'll find in classical studies. Each year it includes all 4 of those. So you get a little bit from each one and then you move forward. So Unit 1 is Ancient History, and we're focusing on the creation story. We're focusing on ancient Egypt, and there's a lot of how the Bible plays into that with the story of Joseph and Moses. With Unit 1, we have stories such as A Day in Thebes. That's a secular story. Beautiful pictures, pen and ink. And then we also have stories such as the story of Joseph. Obviously not secular. Lots of good pictures here. The kids love reading these out loud together, and my kids go all the way up to teenagers, so it's not just for little kids. Unit 2 covers the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. And we cover character greats such as King Alfred the Great. My kids love the story of him. Covers the Magna Carta, Joan of Arc. Unit 3 covers the French and the Indian War, and it goes to the Revolutionary War. It doesn't include a lot about the Revolutionary War, but it does include some. We did supplement this with Drive-Through History's Revolutionary War CD set, and I'll put a link to that in the comments section of this video. And then Unit 4 covers the Victorian era, the history of flight, and the Cold War era. It's kind of all over the place for modern times, but I expect that each of the 4 years of history is going to be like that for the modern times. So let's just look a little bit in depth at Unit 1. Your course overview is included at the beginning of each book. It's going to tell you what you need. It's going to tell you what each one it's going to cover. It's also going to tell you what the company believes. There's memorization. There are also read aloud suggestions. Here are the Unit 1 suggestions. You can find this information in the files on our Good and the Beautiful page here at Gypsy Road, and that has the read alouds for all of the history courses that have been released so far, as well as science courses and language arts courses. We've bought some of these books, and some of them we get from the library and just borrow. So, Ancient History, Unit 1. We start with the creation story. We go through the Bible, and then we go into more secular lessons with ancient Egypt. We have coloring activities. They have cooking activities. They have arts and crafts activities. I don't want to show off everything that's in the book. And then we also have all of these stories in the Book of Stories. One of the things I like about this Book of Stories is the very end here, maps and images. As you go through, sometimes it'll reference you. So, for example, in Unit 2, Middle Ages, we're talking about illuminated letters. So we go through here and we look at the illuminated letters, and then the kids have an opportunity to make their own illuminated letters. When we get to the Revolutionary War period, here's a map of America in 1750. So there are a lot of great maps and pictures and visual aids to go along with that. We normally start out our day by reading together, by listening to the CDs together, and then I split them up into their Student Explorers. I have not printed out the Student Explorer for levels K through 3 because that's not something that our family needs, but I can tell you that it's a lot of coloring pages and some very basic writing. It's very age appropriate, related to the lesson that they learn that day. Level 4, oops, this is lesson or year 2. Well, we've already used that one for year 1. Level 4 includes some writing and some map work. It's still, it includes writing, it includes a little bit of research, there are coloring pages, there's some cutting and pasting pages. It is age appropriate. They do have to do some writing and some research, but it's at a lower level than level 7, which is where we are now. When you get to level 7, or I'm sorry, grades 7 through 9, they're going to have extra readings to go along with each day. They have readings, they have map work, they have some hands-on arts and crafts stuff as well, but they have more research that goes along with that. And then grades 10 through 12 has even more research than that. I don't think I've printed those out because we're not anywhere near to needing it yet. But I do know that as you go through them, they are very age appropriate. History Year 2 is set up very similarly to History Year 1, but the extras are different. It also comes with a card game that we elected not to purchase because, again, like I said, we have several card games. One thing that I like that it comes with is a timeline. It comes with a timeline and timeline stickers to put on that. We'll be hanging this on the wall. And there are stickers that go with Year 1 also to go back and add those on this timeline. Similarly to Year 1, there are 4 different historical eras represented. We printed out our CD to go with it. So in Unit 1, we're still doing the ancients, but now we're doing ancient Greece and ancient Asia. Unit 2, we move up in time. We're doing Vikings, Age of Exploration, and the pre-Columbian era in America. In Unit 3, we cover colonial America and the United States Constitution. And in Unit 4, we do the history of education and World War I through the Great Depression. So we're going to be doing the teens, the 20s, and the 30s. The read aloud suggestions can be found in that file that I had referenced on our website. So in ancient Greece, we are studying Troy. We are studying the Greek heroes. We are going to be studying some Greek mythology as well. That was a part of ancient Greece. But we also talk about how that relates to God as we view Him today from the Christian perspective. There are cooking projects. There are hands-on projects. All the way up to the colonial days with Pennsylvania. And let's see if we can find a modern day one. World War I, why the U.S. joined the war. We're going to be covering World War I both before the U.S. joined the war and after the U.S. joined the war. With this book, there's no big book of stories. They wanted to break it up. I think with Year 3, they're going to come back out with another big book of stories. But Year 2 comes with a book of maps and images, which is similar to what was at the end of the big book of stories. That's not to say that there's no reading, because, of course, there's plenty of reading. We choose books with each unit, and we read out loud to our kids. And then the kids also get to choose some books to read that are age-appropriate for their own level. So here I'm just looking at some of the pictures and the maps that go along with ancient Greece. Now, I had talked about grades kindergarten through 9th grade with the History 1. I wanted to show you some of what's in the 10th through the 12th grade. They have research projects, and they're pretty extensive projects. I don't know if you can pause this and see what all is written on this page. In addition to that, in this lesson, they were studying about David Livingstone. Now, these are what your 10th through 12th graders have to read on top of the work from the regular book that all of the grades go through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They have 10 more pages of reading to do with a writing assignment on top of the other work for the David Livingstone. That's pretty average as far as the course load goes for your 10th through 12th graders, and that's appropriate at that age. So I hope that this has helped you to see what's in History Years 1 and 2. Again, if you'd like to see the games, Jane over at Salty Tribe has those games laid out in her videos, and they'll give you a better overview of what you can find there. Thank you.